Hey, AP Psych students, good morning, or good evening, or good night, depending on when you are watching this. This is Tuesday's problem solving lesson. And if you notice that I posted a couple things on Google Classroom, I have posted a calendar that says what, like, each day, what we're going to cover, and then what days we're going to start reviewing for the AP Psych test. And there have been lots of changes to this AP Psych test, so if you haven't looked at those, I also posted those as well. I don't remember if I posted on our class Google Classroom, but I also made a review page, just a Google Classroom that's just for review material. That way I can also stay in contact with my fall semester kids as well. So both spring and fall are on that review. There's no assignments on there because it's just a review website classroom. So today we're talking about obstacles and problem solving, things that get in the way of us thinking logically, of us solving problems. And we talked about solving problems yesterday with trial and error, with algorithms, heuristics, even though heuristics can lead to problems. It doesn't necessarily solve problems. But today we're talking about things that get in the way of us thinking logically. This is one of my favorite lessons, just because it's words and terms that you know that they're there. You just maybe never put like a name to them, or you now, once you know it, you kind of see it everywhere. So one of them is called confirmation bias. One of these terms is called confirmation bias. And confirmation bias is a tendency to search for information that already agrees with what you believe already. So, here's this little comic strip at the bottom. It says, like, I've heard the rhetoric from both sides. Now it's time to do my own research on real truth. And then you type in some highly debated topic into your search bar, and up pops is literally the first link that agrees with what you already believe. And bam, you click that one, and that's what you read to confirm what you already feel, what you already believe. So typically, you're not going to have too much of a diverse group of people that watch a certain news network, because unfortunately today news is very political. It didn't used to be, 30, 40 years ago. But now news has gotten very political. And so certain people will watch a certain news organization and others will watch another one. And they're just watching what they already believe in. They're not really watching the news to hear any new information or any information that contradicts their own like feelings and beliefs. They watch it to hear their own words being spoken back at them. So it's kind of like Republicans watch Fox News, Democrats watch CNN. All they're getting is this chamber of the same voice back and forth. And they're like, yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. So, people that are anti-vaxxers will typically go to anti-vax websites and data to back up what they believe. They're not going to search for information that proves them wrong. Same thing with like flat earthers. They're going to go to like things that already agree with them and be like, see my research. It's like, yeah, but where's the opposing side? And the opposing side's wrong. Well, don't just try to look for things that confirm your own belief. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get away from confirmation bias. Because here's the thing. Google searches are tailored to you. They want to make it a very personalized experience. And part of what Google does is that it kind of tracks what you search and kind of gets an idea of like your age, your gender, your status, and are you married, are you single, what's your belief system, where are you located. All these things Google knows and tailors the information that it sends you. And right there, you're going to get stuff that you're going to get sources that are already filled with confirmation bias, because it's the things that agree with you anyway. So if you take someone who is a Republican and someone who's a Democrat, and you have them just run a Google search of Mexico, just the word Mexico, they're probably going to get different results. That's as if they've made like their political beliefs like typically known on. It doesn't even mean like on Facebook or whatever. They're like, I'm a whatever. They might just have been searching like they could have liked something that was a post that someone put that was anti this or pro that, and they're like yes, and they liked it or they shared it. That right there is recorded. Or you could have just been like typing this president and then like a negative word like bad or corrupt or whatever, and bam, Google already knows your belief system. And if you have like a Google phone or an iPhone or like a Google Home, those things are tailored to you. So it's really hard to get away from confirmation bias. It's really hard to search for unbiased sources because the sources that are given to you are biased already in nature. So it's interesting. It's unfortunate that we can't truly be unbiased, but just be aware of it when you are doing research or when you're trying to make an argument, that you are getting both sides and that you're not getting sources that just already agree with you. Okay, another obstacle that gets in the way of us solving a problem is sometimes we are so fixed. It's called fixation. We're so fixed that on how to solve a problem, we can't see it from a fresh perspective, and we just can't, step back and like look at it with new eyes again. So here's my little, thinking obstacle. How would you arrange these 6 matches to form 4 equilateral triangles? How would you do it? You can't break them. You have to use all 6, and you have to form 4 equilateral triangles, meaning they're all the same size. They're all the sides are the same length. I usually do this in class where I give kids markers or pencils or whatever, and they try to do it. And you get this response a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. Well, hold on. Of course I messed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're like, right, that's 4 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4. I use all 6 of my matches, but is that equilateral triangles? Because if this entire side is 1 match length, then that's also 1 match length because it looks like a half a match length, and they're not equilateral because they're not all the same size. And this would have had to be broken in half, or it wouldn't fit inside here if they're all the same size. So then how does it work? In class, I would have probably asked you to, hey, oh, you think you got it? Do you mind drawing it on your paper? And that right there is me setting you up to fail, because this is not a 2D answer. The answer to this riddle is 4D. But you might have been so fixated on drawing it or so fixating on replicating it on like a flat surface, like a table or a desk, that you can't see from a fresh perspective. But here's the answer. It's a pyramid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all 6. And there are 4 triangles. 3 of them make the sides, while the 4th one makes the base. Of course, now that I've given you a 3D answer, and if I gave you a second problem that required a 3D answer, you probably would do a whole lot better realizing that your answer now can be 3D. That is an example of a mental set. Mental set is when you repeat solutions that have worked for you in the past. So maybe in a math class, you've been doing the same problem, or like with the same formula. And now there's like a different type of problem, and you're like, well, that formula worked for, the first 5 questions. This is let's just plug some numbers into that original formula and see if it works. Well, it might not. There might be an easier way to do it. But if you repeat solutions that have worked for you in the past, that's called a mental set. You are using a mental set of things that worked in the past. And here's my story. Okay, this is me. This is my husband. This is probably when we were first married. Maybe we were dating. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. And we are on we're on Mackinac Island. And I know that if you're in his class, he talks about Mackinac Island because there might have been a battle there. I don't know. So Michigan, you've got like the hand, and then you've got like the little scarf of part of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula. But there's this little island in one of the Great Lakes. I think it's Superior. It might be Great, as in the Great Lake. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But there's this island, and it's 8 miles around. And like you cannot ride cars here. There's no cars here. It's only bikes or like horse-drawn carriages. And it's, touristy, and it's whatever. But there's no cars. It's a tourist stop. There's like fudge little shops in town and ice cream parlors, and everything's old and quaint. And then you can take the 8 to 9 mile bike ride that goes around the island. Okay, so here's the thing. At the time of this picture, I hadn't been on a bike in a solid decade, and I was not all that comfortable with the fact of being on a bike again. So uncomfortable that I asked to get a tandem bike where it's like 2 seats. So here we are on a tandem, and I am pretty scared. In fact, I remember asking for can I get a helmet? Can we rent a helmet? And he's like, no, grow up. You don't need a helmet. Okay. His parents were with us, and his parents are very active, and they each had their own bike while we shared a tandem. So here I am. I'm going around, we're around mile 1 at this point, and I'm getting pretty cocky in my bike skills, and it's all coming back to me now. And then I ask his mom, I'm like, hey, do you mind if you get on the tandem and I take your bike just for a little bit, because I feel pretty confident and I want to be on my own bike. All right. So around mile 1, we switch. About, 5 minutes later, I'm getting used to the gears on the bike. And, you have to pedal really fast to change gears on a bike. And it's uphill and downhill, and there's lots of curves. And, it's overlooking like a cliff to the Great Lakes. And it's rocky and trees are everywhere. It's very beautiful. I don't know if you know this about bikes, but there are 2 types of brakes on a bike. There's a handbrake, which you see in most adult bikes. And there's a kid brake, which is you just pedal backwards. Okay. I just want you to know that as a child, I had a bike with a handbrake. Handbrakes is how I previously stopped my bike as a kid. And that was a solution that worked for me. I grab onto the bike handle, and that slows the bike down. All right. I knew getting on this bike that I had to pedal backwards. I tested it out a few times. I was like, okay, if I want to slow down, I'm going to have to pedal backwards, push my feet down. But under stress, like a math worksheet or like riding a bike, sometimes you forget the solutions that that work. You only focus on solutions that worked in the past. So I'm riding and I'm going really fast. In fact, my hair is blowing in the wind. I pass by my husband and his mom, and I even say, "We look at me." Well, the road is starting to turn ahead, and I quickly see that I'm going to have to turn, but I'm going to need to slow down to turn because I am going at lightning speed. So I pull the handbrakes, and there's nothing there. There are no handbrakes, and I immediately freeze. I'm trying to solve a problem of how to stop, and I have this obstacle in my thinking of handbrakes is what stops a bike, and I'm not feeling any handbrakes. So what do? I hold on really tight to my bike. I don't make any sound. I grip as hard as I can, and I just go off of the road, across a few bushes. I slam into a tree. I fly over the handlebar. I land my back lands on a tree, and I slide down the tree trunk, landing on my neck in a forest. I thought I was dead, but that's the problem. When you are faced with problems, you tend to use problem-solving strategies that worked in the past when they might not work. A problem needs to have a fresh solution sometimes. And this was my mental set. I only repeated solutions that worked in the past, which in this case did not help me. In fact, hurt me pretty badly. I didn't break anything, but this is the last picture of those glasses, and my pants were ended up being ripped and a little bit of bloody by the end of the day, and that was mile 1.5. I had like 8 more miles to go, so I had to get back on the tandem, and I just sat there and moped for the rest of the trip. I refused to pedal, but that is mental set. And my famous bike story that typically I tell in class, and it's always a good one. So, last bit today is something called functional fixedness. This is similar to fixation that was on the previous slide, but this is about a function of an item and using an item for something other than its function, or forgetting that you can do that. So, think of things that you could do with a paper clip besides clip papers, or with a pen besides write something down. Paper clip. Someone with functional fixedness could not think of anything that they could do with either of those objects. They would be like, I don't know. I can't think of anything that you could do. Well, that's an obstacle in your problem solving. Someone that is creative, someone that can solve problems, can see lots of different uses for these items and can think of things besides their function. You could pick a lock, or maybe you could like those toys that you have to press the reset button. You grab a little paper clip. What about a pen? You could do like a little tracheotomy thing, or maybe I've seen girls, they'll like twist up their hair and put a pen in it and it holds their hair up like a bun. There's lots of things. Or if you're a MacGyver, you can make a bomb with a ballpoint pen and a paper clip. He was very creative. But if you only focus on its function, that lack of creativity is going to be an obstacle when you need to solve a problem. It's like the kid who, oh no, I have this jacket, but I forgot to pack a pillow for the sleepover. Okay, use your jacket, like bundle your jacket up or something. And so people that are, like, I can't afford $50 for a mask to go outside. It's like, there are other things that you could use as a mask. And so, you have to think of something besides its function if you want to be a problem solver. Okay, that is the end of today, because we're going to do more things about problem solving tomorrow on Wednesday after office hours. And I will see you guys later. Don't forget to do your second exit ticket for today, and remember, that's part of that completion grade. And I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day, and don't forget to mark this assignment as done when you complete that exit ticket. Bye.